Taylor Truck Line, orientation in 2025. Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. If you're new here, my name is Mike. I've been a truck driver since 2018, and today's video we're going to be talking about orientation for Taylor Truck Line based out of Northfield, Minnesota. Now, I'm going to be talking about just a brief overview of the company and just like some of the things that they touched on in orientation. I'm not going to be going through every single specific thing to every specific detail. That's what orientation is for, but I'm just going to kind of touch on what they went through and what we kind of did on a very brief basis. And I'm also going to throw in some other things that I learned about today that might be useful if you're inquiring or thinking about inquiring about this company here. But as always, you know, drop questions, comments, concerns in the comments down below. I'll do my best to answer them, or even better so, call Recruiter and ask. We got great people over there, and they'll be more than glad to help you, I'm sure. So, orientation day one. Well, actually, I'm going to backtrack from that a little bit. I'm going to talk about how I got into Taylor Truck Line and how it all started before I even got to orientation. So I applied through the website and did the whole driver pulse thing. Immediately, a recruiter reached out to me and told me that I would be eligible only for their 14 4-day schedule, so work for 14 and then home for 4 days in a row. I live in South Carolina for reference, and depending on where you live, it may be different options for you. They do regional, so it's like a 5-2 style division, and then we have the 14-4, and then we also run 48 states continuous. If you do, we also have like a West Coast thing, but if you do pad wrap, I think it's 48 states. Anyway, I'm not gonna dive too deep into all that. I'm just gonna kind of touch on everything here briefly and kind of just give you the basics and an overview of everything. So recruiter reached out to me and got in touch with me, told me that I would be eligible, and if I wanted to do the 14-4, that's what they would have to offer. So actually at first was kind of reluctant because I was actually looking for something more regional, like if I could be home weekly. But then after some thought and weighing out my options, I decided to go ahead and pursue this 14-day out option. So this was on, like, I reached back out to the recruiter. It was like a Wednesday or a Thursday or something, and they immediately they ran my reports and stuff, and by the time everything came back, I got approved. They got me a flight, and by like Thursday afternoon, I was like had all my stuff ready for orientation as far as like flights and all that kind of like itinerary as far as like just getting to orientation in here in Minnesota. So I flew out of Columbia, South Carolina. I don't live too far from there, and they got me a flight. They do have a rental car available as well. Some folks, for example, like to just have all their stuff in a rental car and bring them all the way here right to orientation, or they don't like flying or whatever the reason may be. But they give you an option if you want to do a rental car, or they'll get you a flight. The flight was from Columbia, flew into Chicago, and then from Chicago I flew in here to Minneapolis. And then once I landed in Minneapolis, I got an Uber down to here, Northfield, which is about 40 minute ride from Minneapolis, Minnesota, down here to Northfield, and here to the hotel. Some things about the trip to orientation. If you do get a rental car, I heard firsthand from others in my class here in orientation that they will cover your fuel costs and food and lodging if you have to stay like overnight. It's not one of those where you like have to submit the receipts. It's they give you an EFS code, so you don't actually have to spend any of your own money. It's just pretty awesome. They don't make you pay for anything. Like even if there's a hotel involved, there's fuel. They ask you what you need or what you want. They get you hotel, obviously, you know, the fuel, and then they give you an EFS code, and whatever's left is like for food or whatever, that kind of thing. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, we got here to the hotel into Minnesota. It's a nice room here. I'll add a picture of it right here somewhere when I got in here. Very clean, very nice hotel. It's not far from where we do orientation at all, like maybe a 2-minute drive. So it's very convenient. Food options here in the area as well. And just a nice place to stay. Anyway, so day one at orientation. I I was up at like 5:30 this morning, went down into the lobby. They have like a breakfast here, which was nice. It was actually better than average, I would say, pretty good. And then we had to be like at the van. They have a van here that like shuttles people back and forth to the orientation class. We had to be at the van by 7 a.m. and we were rolled out, and then we got into the office about 7:15. And that's when orientation began. Once we actually got to orientation, it was basically they just had to get two forms of ID. You got your driver's license and either a social security card or, you know, birth certificate or passport or whatever, that kind of thing. And then there was like a folder with some paperwork and stuff that you had to fill out. There's like the entrance paperwork, they called it, driver's legal plan, this, that, and the third. It was just a lot of like paperwork and signing into things, emergency contact info. Side note, they sent me all the tasks to do on the Driver Pulse app. My recruiter sent me all the tasks to do. So I filled out like 13 things. It only took me like 15 minutes. I like blew through like the I-9 and all that like W-2 stuff and this, that, and the third, and company policies. I read through all that and signed everything. So I had that all done ahead of time. And then about 8 o'clock, we had to go for the drug screening, and the drug screening was a urinalysis. You hopped in the van and you went to a place right there in town, like around the corner basically from the orientation center, the orientation office, and it was fine, it was quick, very friendly people in there. I think it was a chiropractor's office, if I'm not mistaken, not 100% sure on that, but it was great, it was quick, very friendly people in there. It was one of the most pleasant drug screening experiences that I could ever have or ever hope to have anywhere. And we got in, got out, basically finished up what we had to do there. And then once we get back from the clinic, we just started on the 10th Street clearinghouse stuff, 10-year work history, and then the Infinity app, which is like work-related videos and things, and there might be some little quizzes or whatever at the very end of that, but it's like on like driving, safe driving, you know, extreme weather, you know, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. Next, we had to like get the Samsara app. So, side note, for their ELDs, they do Samsara, and I've had Samsara at different outfits in the past. It's a very easy, driver-friendly app to use, so no question there, and they dive deep on day 2 about the Samsara if you're unfamiliar. And at that point, that's when, you know, after you get all that, you kind of have to do the road testing and stuff. So as far as the road testing was concerned, we went out in groups of 3. And I believe there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us in our orientation class, so it's a smaller class. So we went out in groups of 3, and what it was we went out with Todd. I believe he was with safety, and we just had to. He's also an ex-driver there for Taylor Truck Line, so that was also pretty cool. He started there in like '89, I believe he said. But we did just like a quick, like a brief walk around to the trailer and like talked about the as far as like the pre-trip process is concerned. We did a road test. So there was 3 of us. We went out in 3s. So I was the very first one to do the road test today. So that was super nice. I got it out of the way early. That can sometimes be the most, depending on the person, that can be the most nerve-wracking part of the whole process. But it was super fun. It was fine. It was super easy. You leave the yard there and you go, well, the office I should say, and you leave and you go down the post, you do a backing maneuver, and then I switched out with another driver. The backing was easy. It was just like, they didn't really tell you how to get into the spot. It was just like, hey, there's a spot over there, just get out, you know, go check it out and get us in there. So I did that, it was fine. You know, the object is speed here. Just like get through it, make sure they know what you're doing, boom, road test, okay, get them done, boom, they did their back, all right, they're good, all right, you know what I mean? So, trying to be efficient here. At that point, it was about 11:30, 12-ish, noon, I would say, and we came back and we got lunch. Lunch was from a place called the Quarterback Club, which was good. One of the ladies from the office came in and she had a sheet of like different things that you could pick from, so that was super nice. We got to pick from a menu of whatever we wanted to eat that day. So it wasn't just like pizza or Subway or something like that, which is, again, that stuff is fine, but this is way better. So that was like, that surpassed my expectations, so that was good. And the food was really good too. Yeah, food, I got a burger and fries, so that was good. And after that, after lunch there, we did we took a ride, we jumped in the van and we took a ride over to the actual shop, in the yard, it's like a combined thing there. And we did the whole shop presentation with Lawrence, great guy, very knowledgeable. We got we were there for about an hour and a half, and he went through the shops and the different procedures and as far as that was concerned and everything, and that was great. He was quick, very good. Got through all of that, so that was about an hour and a half or so, and then we came back from there. We watched videos for a pre and post trip as far as the state of Minnesota is concerned. It was two folks from the Minnesota State Police, and they just had a video about pre and post trips, basically talking about everything, the normal pre and post trip stuff. And then to round it off, day one, it was about 4:30 or so, and we decided to just pack it up. But day one kind of got through. It was quick, but involved, but quick. Day two is really when you're really going to get in depth with a lot of the stuff. As far as like the really deep Samsara training for a couple hours. There's people that'll be coming in, and different people from different departments shaking hands and everything. So now I want to touch on some of the stuff that I know about Taylor Truck Line here so far for inquiring minds that would like to know. I try to keep this video short, but it's already almost 15 minutes long here. So Taylor Truck Line, okay, so they're based out of Northfield, Minnesota. They also have a shop in Portland, Tennessee. They have a regional, depending on where you live, they have a regional 5-2, they have a 14-4, 14 days out, 14 days home, or they have also what's a pad wrap division, where basically what pad wrap is, if you're unfamiliar with, it's like freight that's wrapped in these almost like moving blankets, if you're familiar with it, and wherever you go and you unload this specific pad wrap freight, at the very end you have to fold up all the pad wrap blankets. They have special trailers for that. Call Recruiter and inquire if you want to learn more about the pad wrap. But base pay is 55 cents a mile. If you do pad wrap, it's 60 cents a mile. They run West Coast, so for all my California drivers, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, call up, inquire with Taylor Truck Lines. They're based out of Minnesota, but they're a 48-state carrier. 80% drop and hook, from what I understand, which is also great. Not a lot of sitting around and waiting. Per diem, which is $80 a day. The company has about 370 company drivers and 170 lease drivers, so they do have a lease program. I'm not too familiar. This is my first day. I'm not super familiar with the lease program. If you have questions specifically about lease, call recruiting, find out. They'll be more than happy to tell you. But I do hear good things, generally speaking, about the lease program that they have here. There's a driver that had he just finished his third or fourth lease or something, and he's been with the company a while. So for what it's worth, I think it's worth mentioning. They're 100% legal 100% of the time. That was a quote that I got today from orientation, meaning that obviously they're 100% legal as far as their ELD and compliance and stuff is concerned. There's no paper logs as far as that is concerned. Orientation pay is 2.5 days. It's roughly a 2.5 day orientation. It's $150 a day, and you will get that on your first settlement or paycheck. Also a $1,000 sign-on bonus at the time of posting. Don't come after me if it's not there when you sign up. I'm just telling you, I didn't even know about it when I signed up, but I learned today that after 120 days, you get a $1,000 sign-on bonus. You fuel at the Loves. They fuel exclusively at Loves, which is nice. I like Loves. That's probably my favorite truck stop chain on all of them. They're all over the place. There's no cameras. Sorry, this is kind of going to be all over the place. These are just notes that I jotted down. They don't have any cameras in their trucks at all. No driver-facing cameras, no forward-facing cameras. There's no cameras, which is crazy to say in 2025. But I'm here to report that there's no cameras in these trucks at all. For some people, that's a big deal. I'm just happy to report that that's what I learned today. So let's see, what else? This is a third-generation family-owned and operated business. They've been in business for almost 80 years. They like if you ask questions, so at any point in orientation, they're big on communication here at Taylor Truck Line, and they like for you to ask questions so they have a grasp and you have a grasp of so they understand and you understand what's to be expected of you. So whenever you're not sure, ask questions. They love when you ask questions here. A lot of question asking today, which was good. Positive thing. There's no cash advances at all for orientation pay. They do have cash advances in normal circumstances, but as far as orientation, I know it's kind of a specific thing, but I made a note of it. I feel like it was important for some people. There's no cash advances on orientation pay. Also, as far as trucks are equipped, you either have a Volvo or more than likely you'll get a Freightliner Cascadia. Lease operators will get, quote, older trucks that the company kind of retired or pulled away from company drivers. But you will either get a Volvo or a Freightliner Cascadia, whether you do the lease or a company driver. The company drivers will get newer trucks. The lease operators will get, quote, older trucks like 2021 or 2022 or newer. You know, 400,000 or 500,000 miles or so, roughly, I believe is what they'd said. But as far as the trucks being equipped, the trucks have I-Pass in Illinois and stuff, but unfortunately they do not have Pre-Pass. Pre-Pass is available to you if you, the driver, want to sign up for it, but they do not provide Pre-Pass. So that will be a driver expense. If you want to have Pre-Pass in your trucks for scales and weight stations and all that, you can get it. That's fine. You can sign up for it on the internet, or they'll give you a form or something, but they do not have Pre-Pass in their trucks. So as far as pay is concerned, the pay is zip to zip. They use the PC Miler system. Some people, probably inquire about that. So it's zip code to zip code. They use the PC Miler system. As far as getting back to the divisions, they have the 5.2, the 14.4, depending on what you sign up for. But if you're regional, you're doing the 5.2. You can stay out longer if you want to, but the home time is not banked. For example, if you stay out for 2 weeks, you do not get 4 days off. You still only get your 2 days off. But if you do the 14.4 OTR division, that's when you will get your 14 days. If you want to stay out longer, or your 14 days out, your 4 days home. If you want to stay out longer, that's fine, but they do not bank home time, FYI. All right, I want to wrap it up here for day 1 orientation. I'll follow back up with day 2 orientation tomorrow, and then we'll find out more here. If you found this information helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. I am going to be diving deep into Taylor Truck Lines. There's some information out here from other drivers and current drivers that work here. Shout out to my boy, Musical Trucker. Your videos are great, help me a lot. I will be following in your footsteps and trying to put out information about this company for people inquiring. And there's going to be a lot of stuff to come with this, but I'm learning about this right now. I'm in orientation. I got boots on the ground here. So if you want to learn more about Taylor Truck Line, be sure to like and subscribe. If you found this information helpful, whenever you find this, I might be months or years deep into my career here at Taylor Truck Lines, but if you want to put my name down as a referral, that would be greatly appreciated. If you found this information helpful, it costs you nothing to do. It's just when you sign up, when you apply, you have to put down my name. So my driver ID is VUOMI. It's the first 3 letters of my last name and the first 2 letters of my first name. I'll put it across the screen here somewhere at the bottom or something, but my driver ID is a VUOMI. Thank you all so very much in advance, and I'll follow you up here with day 2 coming up. All right, so day 2, a Taylor Truck Line orientation. It's a 2.5 day orientation, but basically for today and tomorrow, I guess I'm just going to try and finish up as much as I can in this little segment here, so it doesn't take too much time. This video is not super long. So day 2, we basically started, we came in and we were working on miscellaneous things while we were waiting for the OS&D/risk assessment with Miss Trina. And we just had like videos, the Infinite Eye app, and we had to do a couple of videos on that, and some other small things that we were all kind of working on until the OS&D and risk management presentation. And then that finished up. That took about an hour and a half. And we met with the fleet managers, so that was cool. The fleet managers got to come in and talk to everybody individually, and so that was good. We got to meet our fleet managers, and they had to do like a little, they asked us a lot of questions as far as like how we like to do things, and do we have any endorsements, do we have TWIC, do we have this, do we have that, blah, 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 blah. Just trying to get to know us as far as like loads and stuff are kind of concerned. So that was good. So we met with them. We got to meet with Joe from operations, and he had a good presentation, kind of brisked through everything, and met with him and stuff, and we got to chat, so that was good. Got through that, and once we got to that point, lunch came around, and lunch was the same place again. It was the Quarterback Club, so I ordered a different thing than I ordered the day before, but I will say, side note, that they have really good French fries for all that would like to know. So food is good during the lunch, at least from the Quarterback Club. I don't know if that's what you're gonna get, but that's what I got during the orientation process. After lunch, we got to meet with Leanne, and we did our in-depth Samsara training. That was about an hour and a half or 2 hours, so we really got to, you know, dig in deep with Samsara, and they kind of go through, like, if you have, she had like a dummy load on there, so as far as that, and like breaking things down and like putting your load number, trailer number, tractor number into, you know, for the logs and stuff like that. And so they dove in on that, so we got to ask questions about that. That's good. I was like I said, about an hour and a half or 2 hours. We got rid of that. And then after that, I believe Todd from safety came in and he did like CSA, right to know and aware, things like that. We got to break down kind of the CSA, the company CSA, and everything like that as far as scores are concerned. You know, it was a long day today. There was more to it than just that, but again, I don't want to dive into everything super deep, but, you know, it was a longer day, and there was a lot of stuff that we covered. I'm not going to, you know, touch on every single and describe in depth and detail every single little aspect of it, but, you know, just want to give you a heads up. This is kind of like what orientation might be like for you. This is what it was like for me. Tomorrow, day 3, we do like benefits and stuff like that, rider policy, pet, that kind of stuff. You do any remaining documents that you have to finish up, and extended training. If you want to do more training with Samsara, that's when that'll happen. If not, if drug tests come back and you sign your final payroll thing, packet, whatever, that's when you're officially hired on, and then you go and get your truck assigned. So tomorrow we'll bring all our stuff from the hotel to orientation, the office there, and yeah, we'll be ready to go from that point. But I think I'm just going to wrap it up here, guys. If you found this information helpful, and if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, let me know down in the comments. You know, Taylor Truck Line, I'm going to be diving deep into all this. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to be really trying to cover this as best I can, as for like, well, starting with orientation, I'll do like a truck tour, you know, maybe stuff about pay, you know, running loads with this company, what it's really like to work here. So if you want to learn more, like and subscribe, you know, stay tuned. I'm gonna have a lot more stuff coming out here. I try to post as much as I can here. And side note, as far as that is concerned, if you want to think about coming to Taylor Truck Line, somewhere at the bottom of the screen I'll leave the name for the recruiters. You can call them, ask all the questions you want. I might not have all the answers. They'll best be suited to answer all your questions for you. If you have anything specific or anything like that, especially just call recruiting and find out. And then if you do apply, please, I would be greatly appreciated if you would just leave my name down as a referral. I'll probably put it down here at the bottom of the screen as well. It's my driver code is at VUOMI. Again, I'll leave that at the bottom of the screen. It's free to do so. It doesn't cost you anything, and it just helps them with their referral program. So it would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, that's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Learn more here at Taylor Truck Line. Let's see what this is all about. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.